Congratulations for a new PA announcer.
Our friends at Sega sent me a code for a game called 2 Point Hospital for my Nintendo Switch. This is a game that was out on the PC not too long ago. It's also available for other platforms, but I wanted to check this out on the Switch. It's a strategy game. It's like an old Sims game. The developers behind this title worked on a game called Theme Hospital, which I never checked out before. But if you've ever played a sim type experience where you've got a bunch of different characters running around and you've got to manage economies and you've got to manage construction and staffing and the way that you place all of the different items within your living sort of environment, you kind of know what you're in for with 2 Point Hospital. The thing that is amazing about this game is how well it plays on the Switch, whether you're playing it on a big screen or walking around with it in handheld mode. This is a game you can curl up with, or you can curl up on the couch with and spend a lot of time with. I was completely addicted to this title. The second I checked this out, I checked it out on Friday night after I'd done all my stuff with, last week's work, and then I played it throughout the weekend. You'll get inspections from health inspectors. You've got to train staff so that they kind of improve, and then you've got to deal with promoting them. You've got to pick up assistants to run the front reception. You've got to pick up nurses and things to run some of the machinery. And of course, you've got doctors' offices and different types of clinics. You stack all of those up within your hospital, and what happens is you start to make more money, and you want to grow, and you want to keep sort of moving from hospital location to hospital location. These are businesses after all, and you're trying to, be profitable, and so you don't expand too quickly. But even within the hospitals, you can move from one building to another, and you can really create little well-being empires. I mean, you get a great sort of bird's eye view of your hospital in motion, and it's an incredible machine to see, all the patients waiting outside of the doctor's office or a clinic or whatever, and it's just so fluid and it runs so well. But then you can zoom right in and you can see like conversations going on between people, and you can see all of these tiny little details that just put a real smile on your face. It's like you create a real living and breathing ecosystem within your hospital rooms, and it's really satisfying, especially if it's working, especially if it's making money and everybody's happy and your employees aren't threatening to quit and the promotions keep happening. There's all of these little objectives too that are constantly being thrown at you that are totally achievable. You just have to pay attention, and the game is loaded with great rewards. Your hospitals will get bigger and bigger, and you'll get some new challenges, and you'll eventually just keep coding this little island world, this beatific island world with all kinds of stuff. The music is so chill, and there's this radio station that is constantly filled with double entendres and a real sense of humor and a real sense of levity. There's a little radio chatter like, "Please pick up the urine."
We're sorry for the litter that you dropped on our floor.
Lots of little bits in the game that will put a smile on your face, and not the least of which is the character design of the game, which definitely evokes the Wallace and Gromit school of character creation. Everybody's got, accentuated facial features and weird loopy movements. You even have to build a little clown clinic later on, and so you'll have like a car of clowns stop in front of your hospital, and then you'll walk out. There's lots and lots of minutia, and every time that you open up a new hospital, it can be a completely different thing. Luckily, you can restart levels because, like I did, you're probably going to overspend a couple of times, and you're going to go close to bankruptcy, and you're going to be admonished for that because you get reports. There's lots of stats. There's lots and lots of granular detail, which is overwhelming and a little exhausting because the game comes at you with this big happy smile on its face, and it's so charming and innocent, and then you're like looking into the depths of it, and you see that employees are unhappy and they're threatening to quit, and you're like, God, man, I got enough trouble in my real life. I don't want to deal with all your problems.
Nurse needed in general diagnosis.
So you can get obsessed with all of the details, but that's part of any simulation type of experience out there.
I'm delighted to say I will be giving a lecture at our local university on the topic of pretentiousness, namely how to do it correctly.
It's really kind of weird, though, I have to tell you. One of the things that you have to create is a room to treat pandemics, and everything is done with a sense of humor in here. So you actually get little sick characters that walk in with a pan attached to their head, and the pandemic room is meant to rip the pan off the head. But it's weird to see pandemic in the news every minute, and then you're playing a game that's set in a hospital. There's so much hospital imagery floating around, and then boom, I'm stuck inside my little Nintendo Switch with a smile on my face playing a hospital simulator.
Hospital.
But I really love this game. It's very charming, and what's great is that since this game has come out a little bit after the PC version, the developers have thrown in DLC content in here as well. So you've got loads of great material to dive into. If you've been looking for a fun simulation game to play on the Switch or any platform for that matter, don't overlook 2 Point Hospital. I loved it. 9 out of 10.